These are the best highlights from today's 2024 LCK Summer Split matchup.
Is looking for a bit of harassment, but Faker is going to be able to dish back quite a bit. As the pull is going to come through there, some tides of blood coming out, and I'm just doing my very best to try and remember what Vladimir's abilities are called, and didn't do too badly. But you can see the trading is not as good.
Rocket Belt, obviously, also the buffs that it received recently, where it got a ton of extra health, has made it a lot more desirable, and if you're Vladimir, that kind of does sound like a dream scenario, as we do have the trade coming through here, where the grubs are being taken by T1. We do have Delight in the area, but with Cryo for top and mid, I don't think that they can get more than maybe a cheeky steal here for Peanut.
Yeah, Peanut is just going to walk in and sort of punch a little bit here, as Delight will throw the exhaust down onto Faker. He just pops back to his distortion and says thanks for the summoner spell.
The end of the world. But you are looking ideally to turn that bot side and mid lane pressure as Ozeka.
Yeah, he is going to get hit. There's the ulti. It is blocked, but does do a fair bit of work as the kick comes through. Chain going to come down, and now Peanut's looking for Owner. He's taking a lot of damage. Cease and desist comes in, and that's first blood to Peanut. And Faker now looking to try and get him, but the arrow is going to sail wide, and he says, top of the morning. Arrow will hit onto Doran. He goes into his pool eventually, but says that was rude. My goodness. Dragon number 2, and that will mean that both teams trading the first couple of dragons and the grubs.
I wonder if Doran is going to be in time. So what they did here is they swapped Viper towards top to ensure that they get the grubs. I think they're a little bit late on this. We'll see. I don't think they're going to get this, but maybe they get the fight.
Yeah, that's a teleport to come in as now Doran throws down the Hemo Plague. Tides of blood coming out. They put up the door, and that will interrupt Delight, trying to make his way in with the quickness.
Drake is taken here, but Hanwha Life, I don't think they ended up paying too much. Ended up throwing away a teleport, which isn't the end of the world. Doran is still able to catch the bot side wave. And we do have Mountain, which I think for both teams, it's best if you don't give it to the opponent, because they're both very bursty. T1's, I'd say, is more reliant on actually like getting an initial pick. But even for Hanwha, you know, getting your Ziggs poke to land is a lot worse.
Turret, guys.
Yeah, that's a massive win for Hanwha Life. Because yes, you trade flash for flash, but that doesn't really matter. Hanwha Life, so they overloaded the top half of the map there with the express intention as, Viper, he is low and doesn't have Satchel.
Yeah, it's the flash forward from Faker. Viper is going to flash away, and now Peanut is just trying to play interference. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, but Faker is not going to die to that one and is now looking for Peanut, possibly. Vault Breaker should be able to keep him alive here, and the interruption is gorgeous from Peanut. Avoids the Q there as well, and is now thinking that he fancies the 1v1.
Even if Owner hits that final Q, wouldn't have made a difference. And T1, all these mid-jungle plays not actually working out due to Peanut and Zeka's ability to just eat these ganks and eat these plays consistently, has now meant that the necessary lead for T1 really isn't anywhere to be found. And I don't think that it's lights out just yet, but they need to stack these dragons.
That's kind of what you want to see. We have seen other Ziggs who's not quite managed to do so, and it makes Orcs disappointed. So thankfully, Viper has done a decent job, as Owner doesn't quite find the Q onto Delight here, who's been pretty quiet so far this game. I think it's been the Peanut show.
Side lane, something like Zay's cannon might become a problem to deal with, but you have the lockdown to deal with Faker in this with this Vi. As mid lane turret falls before Viper's might on this Ziggs. Unsurprising, and T1, yeah, they get the dragon, but you feel a lot better about this if that was the Soul Dragon. And then between that and his ultimate, he's gonna have a completely unreasonable amount of MR. And there's a Mountain as, Faker, I think he knows this is risky. Vi has the lockdown, Peanut's waiting.
Pops back to his distortion, now that's on cooldown, gets back to the other one as well, underneath the turret they go! But the ulti flies through, the arrow is going to connect! And that is Peanut taken down, Delight comes in to finish the job, and they go 1 for 1, but the turret is going to fall on the top side, T1 taking more.
And Faker able to drag him back. Peanut not able to set up for the Ziggs. That would have been an early kill. Very, very cleanly done. His Owner,
he's just dead here underneath his turret. Will get knocked up by Zeka's Q. That's nicely done there, but a little bit out of place was the Lee Sin.
As many of us will remember, if you were watching in 2022,
Yeah, this season he's been more like the Corky guy, and he doesn't die very much and then does okay in team fights. It's been a subdued season.
Clear. They're using the ability to just take side lane turrets at a moment's notice, and this is a big fight right here. Possible soul point for T1, and otherwise Hanwha Life sitting peachy.
Does it feel like do or die? Because I'm starting to get that vibe, as right now T1 collapsing onto this dragon. Doran trying to keep himself alive here in this side lane as Peanut off to the side as well. Viper wants to find an angle
to
get that bomb down, and let's see whether Delight can layer through that ulti. Teleports come in from the Vladimir as the Dragon's down to sub 50%. T1 feeling a little bit dicey about this play, considering the fact that it's a 5-stack of Hanwha Life Esports players. They do manage to take down Hemo. Play comes in. The ulti from Zeka is gigantic, and everyone explodes. Maker's still alive. Zeus trying to do what he can, but he will just be popped. They get rid of Viper once again. Faker gets his second kill on him, but he's the last man standing.
Owner had the Q, I think, tried to maybe get back, but instead, looks like Hanwha Life have taken the decisive lead here in this game, #1, and oh man, again.
Oh, the arrow splash damage for the takedown. Yeah, not going to happen, not this time. And that is going to be the Baron secured here by Hanwha Life Esports to the backs of camels.
Oh yeah.
Because Hanwha Life Esports with this Baron are pushing down this inner turret on the top side, and with Baron it's a Ziggs, and he just mows everything down. He's a demolitionist. But he's in a side lane right now. We are going to see that Faker is looking to try and deny this take on the inner turret, but it's not going to happen. Another pull going to come forward. There's a Mega Inferno Bomb. So much damage as Gumayushi is just eviscerated. There goes Owner as well, and the ulti comes through from Zeka. Oh my goodness. He does turn up. He's like, is there a beach party happening? And they're going to find it. Delight just whips that one completely, but I don't think Peanut's going to go down.
Yeah, this is where you start discussing the next game, Atlas. And I think this one is pretty textbook, right? Coming out of draft, we knew T1 had to use the mid jungle. I don't even feel like it was misplays early on that like Owner and Faker
like if the POG goes to Peanut, I think that's okay. We're going to get a bit of an interrupt here on to Delight, who is pretty tanky to be perfectly honest, looking for some cooldowns. Is now Peanut setting up for it, and T1 realizing that they cannot go too far.
So, Sunny's a watch.
Yeah.
Maybe some, an understated
What's the hat
chain.
that Brolaf wears? Maybe that's Doran. Alright, Mega Inferno Bomb, just get rid of the minion wave. It is not going to be enough to save this turret. And I think, Doran might also be dead. The kick does come back, and that chain CCs the Vladimir. A bit of an opportunity here as Hanwha Life Esports are taking a fair bit on the other side of the map, as Faker kind of outplaying Zeka here, but he just bounces back. Cursed him, so we'll just have to keep an eye on what he's going to do next.
Do you want to say something good about Zeus?
All right.
That's such a good game. Only died once.
Yeah, he is also killing it in a turret. It's really cool.
Bounty gold!
He's now really dead, but he did do his job, and they're just not going to waste any cooldowns on him. Did do a fair bit of damage to Zeka, but he is going to be able to get all that back. Infinity Edge now in hand.
They can invest a bunch of people to kill an annoying Yordle inside.
They have a Ziggs, who's got a teleport flank happening here as well. Carrier in a fair bit of trouble. Let's see whether Owner can actually make this one happen.
That could make it extend. There's a bounty as well.
Yep, in goes Peanut. They're looking for the fight. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down. They lock up the Ashe, and they just had a Freljordian bounty out, I guess, on both of them. As now Faker's in trouble. He is just dead. I think that is Hemoplague will be able to finish. Never mind.
Okay, secret agent Owner.
Yeah, Owner is just looking to try and get it done. Zeka is 1v1ing the Baron.
They still don't know.
Faker is Alcove Gaming, looking to try and get himself out.
They don't know.
It's going to be Viper that locks up that. Sorry, it's Delight that locks
up. It's the loop gone.
This is super weird. I have no idea what's going on here. He's looped around forever. He's looking for the angle, but he gives away his position. And now they're going to try and get him out of there. The knockup does come on through. The Ziggs blocks up the kill. Zeus is not able to take down the Baron, and this game is over, ladies and gentlemen.
Owner just sitting in that brush as his entire team gets massacred. Like, guys, if I can steal,
it was like
Galaxy
Brain confusion over and over again. And it turned into a little bit of a confusing outcome there as T1, they had to throw a Hail Mary. It did not connect, and Hanwha Life Esports are looking to take down game number 1.
Absolute masterclass from the mid-jungle duo from Hanwha Life here. Able to detect every single early play. And again, I know he wasn't the main character, but that Zig pick, we got to look after it, because it feels like it also allows Zeka to just pick Yone like this.
Yeah, and he went 4-0-10, and he had, like, he was the one focused in the early game.
15 ganks, Atlas.
I know, it's absolutely absurd. Do you know what they've done? They've they've nailed a target onto Doran and said, you can have him. Just let us stack up our Smolder and take turrets on Ziggs. Existing gets a flash. Pretty well played there, and still looking for a little bit more value.
Reinforcements are on the way. I'm not too sure about this one, but it looks like...
Okay, Carrier just going in, can mitigate a lot of this, but Faker's going to move over. That is so much Spirit Fire value. The flash out from Peanut, and Delight is going down low. Doran now trying to tank things up as Carrier might be taken down, but he gets the shield as he pulls back the Scalpel, and there it is, the Spirit Fire. Last hit for first blood for Faker. So looking kind of all right, but it looks like T1, they have their eyes set on this Infernal Drake. Should be able to take that one down as Delight is in the area, but Peanut is not. So they're not going to be able to stop this. Peanut is just going to have to trade it for some grubs that are going to be coming up now.
Yeah, also don't have bot lane prio. Viper did have to back. Guma TP back, so he will be able to shoot that wave as
that Shadow Dash was that was a gimme. That was
grubs being taken here by Hanwha Life. So still not a bad trade. Owner will be able to pick one up, but he is substantially behind in CS, not so much in experience, especially if he does end up getting the camp. Obviously has been pretty proactive on the map, and
Carrier.
Never mind.
River Shen
he's
doing work.
He's not getting the experience. This is a lot of plays that are going to go down. We'll see when Doran has the read, because as of right now he doesn't.
Well, he is going to get taunted. Speed drop does come through. There's the encore, and Doran is just dead. Didn't have a chance to do anything at all.
He did not get the message, in fact.
On Hanwha Life Esports, so getting back to this top lane is going to be a rough one.
Oh, that's a 4-man dive.
Yep, looking for an opportunity. Ragnarok is up and available as he has thrown it down. Mega Inferno Bomb, pretty difficult to outplay that one, and it's Mom that's able to lock down the kill. Still, Zeus gets one back as Peanut couldn't tank the turret forever. And Delight just taking some summoner spells. Well played, Peanut. Looking for his go here, level 7. There's the flash, Arctic Assault, and the Permafrost comes down. Peanut once again tanking the turret, and that is going to be Zeka getting a stack and a kill at the same time. Yeah, Flap and Swifties, pretty good at avoiding getting queued. Viper is going to take this turret. Goodbye, turret. It has been nice knowing you. Ba-boom. And 10 minutes. There is still 3 minutes left for him to take more of these structures off the map. Golly gee, I'm a little bit frightened about what that means.
They still have a bunch of time, so they can just rotate him to mid, rotate him to top.
Yeah.
Looks like T1 will be able to get to, Hanwha Life able to get to free grubs here. They do push Peanut off. They do have to give him a dragon, but Dragon in himself, not the end of the world. Oh,
X-Tech going to come through. Yeah, Guma is in a whole host of trouble. That's too many circles, and Viper is able to lock down the kill before the Smolder comes in and steals it away. The mid lane going to force a teleport out from Gumayushi.
Gang, we cannot give Viper a free inner. That is not a thing we can do.
Well, Faker is going to get hit by a bouncing bomb that does do a fair bit of damage here, as we can see. Viper starting to get to work with that Luden's already built up. And everyone is going to turn up. That is Anasis turned into a ragdoll and thrown about the place. And you can see Faker there in the player cam, not happy about how that one went, as it is brother versus brother. Never mind, as Zeus is, of course, an Olaf, and he is just going to be able to take down the Renekton. No worries there at all. Delight now underneath this turret, not exactly where he wants to be, because Owner is turning up as well. T1 kind of taking matters into their own hands as they look to get rid of Delight, who is able to taxi his way out. Carrier is going to trade 1-for-1. That was gorgeous from the Leona player, but they're still going to lose an outer turret in the top lane.
It's very telling that despite all that, Hanwha Life are still sitting on a gold lead for that. That's going to be a big moment.
T1 have also taken more play call, which is kind of nutty, as Peanut's going to turn up. That is Ragnarok popped here from Zeus, but it's going to run out very quickly, and Delight is, of course, exactly where he needs to be. The Shield of Daybreak comes down, and there is the Mega Inferno Bomb. It's Eclipse that manages to pop and take the kill, as Zeka is now flapping over a wall, and Faker's like, I wanted to flash, but I can't flash. We can see He's going to have to spend some time poking HLE in the eye, and that is going to allow T1 to start this one up. Faker on the bottom side of the map, teleport to come in here from the Renekton. And Hanwha Esports, they really want to fight for this. The Ziggs rotating over. Of course, Viper does have a lot of range, so he can affect these team fights as Ona will break it now on cooldown for the next couple of seconds. And Doran gets into position. That's an ulti out. The Encore goes entirely wide, and that is the Smolder going down. They do get rid of the Olaf, but have they done enough? The flash over the wall from Viper. Peanut desperately chasing after Ona because they want to take down this smite. The Dragon all but forgotten right now, but Hanwha Esports still doing so much damage as the Seraph Shield does go off. And Carrier actually hopping back into the pit here. Does, of course, have the Shadow Dash and use that to get back over the wall.
Yeah, there's a lot of teleports available, Atlas. A lot of sums being used for Hanwha Live, though. But if they get this Dragon, that might be a worthwhile investment.
5
6 seconds on Zeus.
Yeah,
he
is going to be coming in very, very quickly, is the Smolder. You're talking about the Viking as well, Hanwha Esports. I think this Dragon does belong to them, but T1, can they find a fight? No Ragnarok here for Zeus, and there is a lot of CC. Beat gets dropped, but doesn't really do too much there. And the Achu does come down. So that's going to be T1 taking down an outer turret in the mid lane. They trade that for the Hextech Drake.
On whether or not Seraphine is there.
Oh, that's
like empowered W.
I'm just thinking that everyone is very melee. As 221, pre-20 minutes, by the way, Zeka is going to hit his stacks for the execute so incredibly early. And we did warn that this was going to be a possibility, right? Into the Nasus, this Smolder will be able to freely stack up. Zeus getting to work on this bottom side. Some could say that theoretically, if you want to have easier access to Flash, it should be closer.
There we go.
Or other buttons or something like that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay, Baron is going to get started up immediately. Vision does go down. Viper does have his ulti up and available. Let's see whether he can actually connect it here. As T1 in position, the Achu comes down. There is the ulti onto the Smolder, the Solar Flare, just to get rid of Ona. And look at that! The Viking runs in and immediately pops like a balloon. There's just too much damage here, and it's a double kill for the Smolder as a result. That Hexgate from Carrier is going to be able to get him over his side of the map. But now Zeka could be in trouble. Gumayusi needs to be respected. The Spirit Fire comes down as well. That's Narnia, Peanut. That's not where you want to throw the ultis, but you can see Viper able to keep them at bay. Still, Hanwha Esports health bars are getting down very, very low.
Like, Owner goes in, but no one actually gets to follow up. You're running through a narrow choke point into Smolder and Ziggs.
And one of them can be ulted by the Vi.
Yeah.
One of them did, but the other one it didn't. As the Hextech Dragon has been pulled out, the rest of T1 moving over. Delight is going to spot Ona here. As they take the Hexgate in, Zeus is going to turn up as now Peanut down to half health. Faker also having to flash to get himself out of the way, and Delight down to 50%. Solar Flare is going to connect. Gumayusi doesn't find the ulti as Mega Inferno Bomb does a lot of damage to him, and now Hanwha, they get control of the Dragon. Ona is looking to move in, but he's not able to lock that one down, and look at the damage from Zeka. He's found his window and will be able to take down the Shen. And now Hanwha Esports is just cleanup. Faker is going to get permafrosted. And it looks like he will get chased down. There's just too much CC, too much opportunity, and once again, Zeka is just getting so fed in this game.
Owner still 10 seconds before he's alive, and I don't know if Zeus and Guma, especially without the ult for Guma, can do anything about this. Carrier's on his way, almost as his ult, but...
Oh, doesn't find a Zenith Blade as now. Let's see whether the Olaf can actually get this one done, as Zeka just says flap, and he'll get himself out of the way. Look at Viper, he's just standing on a satchel to make sure he can't get CC no matter what happens, but the Smolder does fall down. And the flash from Gumayusi comes in, he's going to be able to get that high note, lands it onto Doran.
Wait.
Yeah, Peanut is just going to look for a red buff and then hopefully come in for a steal. Owner is going to be there, so it's going to be a 50-50. Viper is also there as well. This is real dicey. Throws in the satchel, Delight's going to get in there. There is Carrier over the wall with the taunt, but it's a little bit too early. They're going to look to try and take him down. The blast cone does come in. Peanut, can you actually get in there? It's the cease and desist. Peanut still surviving for such a long time. Mega Inferno Bomb not quite doing it. And now it's the Ziggs versus Goomer and Faker. Let's see whether Viper can actually try and take this down. It's down to 1,000. Oh God, the bombs. The satchel's not enough. And Faker with all the stacks is able to cue the Baron to death. What a weird game. Now pushing out this lane in the top side. Doran is going to face check Carrier, and this is probably a dead Renekton, and by probably I mean definitely. Everybody else just getting themselves the heck out of here.
Actually really cute from Carrier, so he walked into Doran and then taunted back so that Doran would walk into him. Whereas on the Red Bull Baron power play and the Hextech Drake, they should be able to get Soul Point. And if you get Soul Point with Seraphine and Nessus, maybe you can turn it around.
There's a possibility. And now it's time for us to talk about the scaling options. This is a lot of jockeying. We can see right now as the Achu going to be avoided there by Faker. Throws down the Spirit Fire. It's not doing quite as much as it was earlier in the game. As now Carrier, possibly out of position, is going to be able to get himself out of the way. And now Ona, he's started up this Drake. Hanwha, they're just looking to try and get this fight working out as Carrier has to flash to get out of the way of Zeka. And now Peanut just biding his time. Zeus looking for the angle. It's going to be that 50-50 like you were talking about, but it's Peanut that locks down the Dragon. Ona unable to flash the mom damage, but does at least get himself out of the way in the fury of the sands. Here from Faker as he walks away from the fight.
Enough percentage pen that you just kill Nessus before he gets to Q you twice as owner.
All right, Peanut just bypasses in the Solar Flare going to connect, and they get the priority target. Oh man, I thought they were going to focus Ona, but instead they get the Seraphine, the flash forward from Peanut to make sure Ona cannot escape. They'll take his GA, and then they'll take his life. The satchel put in place, and Zeka's able to lock it down. I think Peanut may have just got him a POG with that one. That was gorgeously played.
So, Owner walks in, he's like, I'm not here for you. I have a much more important target. Gets on top of Guma, catches him off guard. That is going to be the Baron going over to Hanwha. And a 2-0 lead.
To close it out as Peanut to try and escape here as Zeus moving on in. We'll be able to put on a fair bit of pressure, and Carrier gets over as well. Peanut isn't exactly a priority target, and now Doran's going in, looking for the angles here. The Permafrost comes down, and Ona, no GA anymore, and is just going to be cut down where he stands. His timer is exactly the same as that of the Dragon, so he's not going to be there for the Hextech Soul. And meanwhile, Zeker's just kind of winning the game, I guess. Taking down this inhibitor turret and inhibitor in the bottom lane. Some teleports being used, but I think Hanwha Esports just have winning the game on their minds right now. Teleports to come in from Doran as well, and now Delight, I think he's found Zeus, who is just going to get chain CC'd. I mean, he's an Olaf,
that's Olaf,
so he doesn't really get chain CC'd, but he has to use it, and now he's able to take down the Leona. That's not your base gate.
Hey, that might be enough for T1 to contest.
Well, Carrier's just going to flash to get the taunt onto Zeka, but he just dies. Zeus is now in trouble. One sneeze from Zeka and he will be dead, although the sneezes do about 50% of anyone's health bar. So that would make some sense. As Owner has come in with the base gate, there is a phenomenal arm guard utilized here from Zeka. Immediately flashes after him and burns him to death. Straight out of the death chamber, straight back in again. Losing Delight and Doran for basically free. They still overextend, and it is going to be a Quadra Hextech Soul.
Yeah, we knew it was over, but now it's really over, Atlas. It's not even skillful. You can press R whenever, Atlas. Yeah, you don't need good timing.
But he did have, like, what if the timing just shows that you barely even skip a step?
Yeah, I guess.
That's kind of cool. Doran is the one tasked with stopping him.
We're TPing? Okay, now that's just straight disrespect.
This is very weird. They really want to kill Faker as Viper is going to satchel him, and Faker is dead. So it did take a long time.
They don't have Nasus, 40 seconds. Alma Life didn't really invest anything. Well, they invested TP, but no one really cares about that.
Yep. They do still have this inhibitor down in the bottom lane. Peanut just going to usher in those super creeps as this turret not long for the world. Viper does so much damage, even like per auto, it's like half an inhibitor worth of damage, and they can also slow them perpetually. They have Hextech Soul, utilize that to get a positional advantage around the Elder as Solar Flare is going to connect onto Faker. He takes the kitchen sink. The mom damage kind of massive there as well as Fury of the Sands keeps him alive. But Ona doesn't have one of those, unfortunately. Down to the GA. Once again, Zeka just says, no, you're not ulting me. That is just not something you're allowed to do. And now the Viking trying to get on top of him, but Zeka's just not even taking damage. He gets a triple kill in the fight, and Faker and Guma, they realize that I think it's just not quite going to work out. Delight trying to look for him. He flashes over the base gate. There isn't anybody else there, but he is also so tanky, I don't even think it matters. Maybe someone else doesn't even really need to be there because Mega Inferno Bomb has infinite range. He once again goes in looking for Faker. He won't be able to tank up that last turret shot, but he's still able to get the work done. And now Gumayusi is not able to defend the base, and the game is over. Hanwha Esports will move to match point in the series.
16-2 Atlas.
Doran has actually done very well on in the past. I think his Jax has been one of his better champions, but into Zeus, and right now, as far as form is concerned, I'm a little worried.
Yeah. I hadn't had the opportunity to talk about that. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now. So Viper actually has TP, so no Captain Barry this time around.
Oh, true.
And they TP'd Viper to catch that top wave. Doran's still going to be very, very sad, but Zeus hasn't backed.
Yeah, and he is very, very low. Zeka now in a little bit of trouble, but is able to snap back. Hextech Ultimatum does come down as Mom gets angry as well. A lot of damage there, but there's the flash forward into the crash down. Zeka's going to get interrupted. It's a decent pulverize. Zeus is burning, but he survives! And that is first blood onto Peanut, picked up by Gumayusi. Still, the cleanup is going to be there. Delight likely to fall down, though, and T1, they're stacking up Faker at the same time and collecting some grubs.
And again, they can just TP Camille to whichever wave they'd like. An overextension from Hanwha Life. And T1 getting a win here. Gumayusi is just going to be able to shove in here towards the top side of the map.
Around could be absurd. They do know that Owner is in the area. They know that this is a 2 versus 2. Peanut continuing to bide his time. As Zeus moving back to the tri-brush, there is the counter-strike. The chain CC's decent. Cease and assist comes down though, and that's Peanut locking down the kill. The cat and mouse there in that bottom lane, and that 2v2 was beautifully played by Hanwha.
To find these moments. That's a pick onto Zeus. That was one of the few lanes for T1 that really was setting up for great success. And now Doran,
doesn't go. I would have greeted for the demolish 100%, but I'm glad that he doesn't, because Faker then doesn't get to stack off the Jax and possibly even kill him. And so first Drake going to go over to Hanwha Esports here as that Hex deck is going to be locked down. A lot of buttons.
Just clears the wave.
Up and available, and a lot of them miss from Gumayusi there as well, so Zeka is still pretty healthy.
Again.
Oh god, we've seen this play before. Faker is rotating down. Delight's already here though. Teleport to come in from Doran or from Viper as both of them turn up. That is a phenomenal headbutt though from Carrier, trying to get them out of there, but Owner is in so much trouble. There's a killer instinct from Viper. He gets the big old shield. Peanut looking for the angle onto Faker, but he doesn't have any more gap close, and Faker's still looking to try and take him down. It's a double now though, and he just walks too far. Doran shuts down the Smolder, and Hanwha Esports win the fight.
The coordination from Hanwha proves supreme again, Atlas, as the TP comes in from Doran in these early games. But I think Hanwha Life, their coordination has been so good. And the one thing that I do think you struggle with Ziggs and Smolder is well-coordinated dive. And Hanwha has a lot of that, Atlas.
They do. And they also have...
Viper would be big.
Yeah. Oh, Glacial Prison going to go wide there.
TP Zek at the top, got the shove there.
That's going to even out the grubs here, and means that both the Camille and the Jax going to be on even footing as far as those side lanes are concerned. And moving towards this mid-game, we do have the Scryer's Orb does give T1 the knowledge that this is going down. But moving into the mid-game, we've got a Jax and a Camille on basically parity. The T1 goes into the lower bracket earlier, and last time around Hanwha Esports, it was a 3-0
it was.
In the first matchup, and then T1 comes back, you know, they get a little bit of extra practice against D+, taking them down in a difficult series, and then they'll 3-1 Hanwha Esports on their way to the finals. Chronicle, don't worry, it's all still set up. Cloud Salt is going to be coming in as well, my personal favorite. You're going to run real fast, and that feels great, but we'll just see whether T1 can weather the storm, because this time they're not the ones with all of the onus on them. Like Pay's played it, what, 3 games in a row?
He did also look like
not
the
have
best
been allowed. Yeah,
but that's fake data. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, but I mean it's not fake data. He was also just allowed to play it 3 games in a row. So I think, I mean, T1 were not the only team that was struggling to figure out a way to counter the champ.
TP Guma in and just Satchel, which would have been so cool.
Yeah.
It's like the turret's just gone. They get the turret anyway. I didn't really need to do that, but...
He also wanted to be defending the outer turret in the mid lane that Viper is putting a bit of pressure on.
And they don't have a lot of vision there. We see some question mark pings. I think they know.
Well, Peanut is
there
walking
he is.
to the back of the pit. In comes Delight now as the Arctic Assault is going to miss. And now Peanut wants to find a priority target. Crashdown is going to be interrupted there. And Glacial Prison comes through as well. Zeka looking for the angle, but he isn't going to pull the trigger just yet. And now Viper going to get ultimatums. Zeka does find the angle though, and there is the ulti to come through. Mom comes down as well. Viper thrown around the battlefield. They take down the Ziggs, but Faker is still at full health. And Zeka can't get on top of him. Peanut gets a huge shield though. Still the sneezing comes through, and Doran just picks up a triple kill out of nowhere. That's an ace, and they're like, oh, heck with the dragon. We'll go take a Baron.
Viper just walks into melee range of the Jax. And guess what? No one on T1 can deal with that.
All things considered, as there's a flash forward. They do manage to lock up Viper here, and they will be able to mitigate a lot of the push. Zeus now moving in. It will be the dragon taken, so Soul Point is going to come on through. Great knock-up. There's the Glacial Prison going to be eaten here by Hanwha Esports, but now Delight. Crashdown comes on back in. The ultimate, and it is just Zeka taking control. How do they make these things happen? Carrier, he's almost out of cooldowns. He finds one last pulverize, but this fight is done. And even without Viper there, they still roll over the top. This is probably the best day of League of Legends Zeka has ever had.
Series. What you been doing, my man?
And just
Jax,
still 100% kill contribution, by the way.
Jax does have an incredible amount of power in this draft. Again, Counter-Strike is insanely strong.
Live Esports looking to repeat what Gen G did yesterday and make the upper side of this bracket look very, very powerful here in the LCK. Teams waiting in the wings will mean that T1 not out of it if they lose this game. They will have to face off against a D+ that did just struggle against Gen G yesterday. All right, Blast going to try and get them back in here as there's the Void Seeker. Viper taking matters into his own hands, and Goomer's just dead. There is nothing that they could do about it. Now Carrier's in trouble. The fate is going to get sealed, and even is able to queue out of the way of the Glacial Prison that was lying in wait. They are still taking a bit of damage here as more Void Seekers funnel on through. But this is going to be even more money going over to Hanwha Esports. That 10,000 gold gap.
No, I was kind of hoping you would give me an opening, but
did I thought that was an opening. It was a bit ham-fisted. However, I would say that it was probably an opportunity for you to go for it. That is going to be Cloud Soul picked up here by Hanwha Esports. Like, when this year started, not even this season, when the year started, we looked at Hanwha Esports and said, wow, okay, there's the cease and desist. Killer Instinct comes down. Gumiushi this time can go golden, but Delight is going to be here, and Viper just pops him. That is going to be Ona now in trouble. The Crashdown still gets the CC, even with the headbutt, and they're still going. Faker, he's going to go golden, but that is just to watch as the bad guys encroach. He can't get through the base gate as Doran's going to be able to lock him down. That is Viper dead once again, but he's been bait this whole game. And Zeus, he hook shots away. He is going to be able to get some funny business done, but the flash forward and then the counter strike. And I think he is just dead. That's going to be the ace. And Hanwha Esports, I think they're just going to say top of the morning to the series here as they look to push in for the win.
And Gen G remains a formidable opponent, Atlas. But you really couldn't ask for more from Hanwha Life, showcasing that they are, in fact, and by a seemingly insurmountable margin, the second best team in the LCK. Because what this team is showing here today...
Time for a Hail Mary, though. It is right now. Voidseeker going to connect onto Owner as Zeka never mind, he's absolutely fine. Unbinds the Soul, and Peanut going to get headbutted back. But now Doran looking for the angle, doesn't get the counter-strike as Gumiushi. He's able to flash to get himself out. That is a decent ulti, though, and Doran just goes golden. The cease and desist comes down, and now it's Viper at full health, just massacring them. And the Wallets, they come down hard. And that is going to be another ace. And that will finally be the win here for Hanwha Esports.
Clean ace, Atlas! As Hanwha Life stamps an end to this game and this series.
And a perfect game for both Doran and for Zeka. Incredible performances from the solo lanes in this one, but Zeka, this series for him, I mean, this is his magnum opus. This was absolutely gorgeous from this player.
These were some of the best highlights from today's 2024 LCK Summer Split matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.